Hello and welcome to the Straight Zone. My name's Glenn Videlko. I'm an executive coach and learning facilitator in talent, teams and leadership, and author of the Straight Zone. In this post, we'll explore confidence and desperation, exploring the question, what's the relationship between confidence and desperation, helping us to think about ourselves and about our confidence differently. So, what's our typical experience? In important situations under pressure, with all the unknowns and uncertainties, our confidence can disappear just when we need it most, and isolated and exposed as we see our impacts sliding away, and undermining sense of desperation can emerge from within. So, what is desperation? Desperation is a powerful emotion that is associated with difficult situations where we seem to have little to no control and little to no hope. And that unpleasant situation can be a real situation, and it can be an imaginary situation that has no foundation in reality. And in my experience, it's mostly a mix of both real and imaginary. Desperate, we feel a mix of emotions like anxiety, torment, despair, distress, discouragement, and frustration. And underlying this is a sense of hopelessness as we struggle to get a footing on life's slippery slope. Depending on their predispositions, people experience desperation differently. With some people, it's out there and very visible. And for other people, it's less visible and mostly in here, inside them. Either way, our desperation leaks out. So, what's the effect? Years ago, I flicked open a book and the words "desperation repels" jumped out at me, and it's stayed with me ever since. Desperation repels. And clients, when hearing this, connect with it like a priceless gem, making them aware of what they were not really aware of before. Firstly, that they are desperate, and its effect, and what they can do differently. When desperate, we can't think. Our emotions are all over the place. We can't focus, and we end up in doer mode, desperately trying to do something, and it mostly only adds fuel to the fire. So, what are the different types of desperation? Depending on our personalities, our values and drivers, desperation manifests in different ways. Some people become desperate to please, some to win, some to look strong, some to control, some to be the center of attention, some to be right, amongst many others. Yet no matter how it shows, desperation repels. We seem to be able to become desperate about just about anything, and at the time, our sense of perspective shrinks to nothing, and not seeing the wood for the trees, our desperation can quickly become all-consuming, drawing us into a world of desperation and despair. So, what has desperation got to do with confidence? When we're in our comfort zones, desperation is never really a thing. In contrast, When we're under pressure with an important situation, desperation can quickly become a very big thing. And when our confidence disappears, our desperation amplifies and we feel like we're slipping into our panic zones. In this way, confidence and desperation have a reciprocal relationship, where the presence of one implies the relative absence of the other. In many respects, confidence is the absence of desperation. And even when we feel desperate, a very human thing, we're not distracted by it and we can focus confidently. Yet the good news is, with confidence, desperation can sharpen the senses and can energize immensely. We only need to find our footing on the slippery slope, and confidence is the foothold. So, how do stereotypes make desperation even worse? When we fall back on our stereotypes and cliches, our desperation compels us to psych ourselves up with confidence-boosting hype, desperately trying to mask our desperation, and with no substance behind the facade, the mask quickly begins to slip, amplifying our desperation. So, why does desperation repel? While it might not occur to us, our emotional states are not as private as we might think, and our emotions rub off on the people around us. Have you ever spent time with a complainer, or a hyperactive doer, or with a composed, still person? And their emotional states can affect us. Our emotional states are in many respects contagious, and confidence and desperation are no different. While genuine confidence evokes feelings of calm composure, an attractive feeling that draws people in, desperation evokes awkward discomfort and infectious anxiety that people want to avoid. No matter how much we try to mask it, our desperation leaks out in our words, tones, and body language, and mostly in our mere presence. And people pick up the signals, consciously or unconsciously, and it switches people off. Desperation not only repels others out there, desperation also tends to repel ourselves in here, and in conflict with ourselves, wanting to avoid unpleasant desperation. While we can't avoid ourselves, we can avoid situations that evoke desperation. And our desperation escalates as opportunities pass us by. So, what's the problem behind the problem? While desperation might be linked to our situations and what we're trying to achieve, the underlying cause is a lot closer to home, which is good news as it means we're in the driving seat to do something about it. While situations and aspirations are not really the problem, the underlying problem is our emotional attachment to the outcomes we so desperately want to achieve. In the absence of emotional attachment, desperation is never a problem. With emotional attachment to some desired outcome, desperation quickly becomes a very big problem, and we're mostly oblivious to our emotional attachments. So, what is the antidote to desperation? Conquering desperation is about mastering confidence. And given that desperation is fundamentally caused by emotional attachment, the antidote for desperation is the opposite, emotional detachment, something we in the West are woefully unfamiliar with. When we channel our efforts and energy differently, our natural confidence emerges quietly from within, and calm and confident we become emotionally detached and less desperate. And that's the subject of the third principle in the stretch zone. Contrary to popularist thinking, being detached does not mean we unemotional or indifferent. We actually experience the full range of human emotions. We only experience our emotions with independence, making our emotional life that much richer and more productive. In summary, desperation repels, and no matter how much we try to mask it, psyching ourselves up only adds fuel to the raging fire. In contrast, with genuine confidence, desperation loses its power, and with practice we tame the beast, and our desperation becomes an energy to channel productively. Thank you. I wish you all the best discovering your magic in your stretch zones. Trust yourself, be yourself, and enjoy yourself. Bye now.